All right, here's the review for general senses and audition. Pain receptors are called nociceptors. The olfactory receptors are for smell. The hearing receptors are contained within the cochlea. Tactile receptors are for touch. Pain that is felt in an area of the body that is no longer there is called phantom pain. Pain that feels like it is coming from a part other than the part being stimulated is called referred pain. The osseous labyrinth of the inner ear is filled with the perilymph. The auditory receptors are for hearing. Which of the following correctly list the parts through which light passes at its inner eye? Oh my gosh. Which of the following correctly lists the parts through which light passes as it enters the eye? The cornea, the aqueous humor, lens, and the vitreous humor. Utricules and saccules contain proprioceptors for static equilibrium. Semicircular canals contain proprioceptors for dynamic equilibrium. As sound waves travel through the ear canal, they cause the tympanic membrane to vibrate, and in turn cause the ossicles to also vibrate. Which of the following is the correct sequence of the ossicles going from the tympanic membrane to the oval window? The malleus, incus, and the stapes. Which of the following is affected if a patient has an inner ear infection? The cochlea. The stapes is connected to the oval window. Perilymph is a fluid found in the inner ear. The organ of Corti is considered to be the organ of hearing. Where is it located? Cochlea. When a person cries heavily, many times their nose begins to run. This is due to the fact that tears from the eyes will pass through the nasal lacrimal duct. The malleus is the auditory ossicle attached to tympanic membrane. The tympanic cavity is an air-filled space containing auditory ossicles. The organ of Corti contains auditory neurons. The pinna is a scientific name for the outer ear. The external auditory meatus is a semi-transparent membrane attached to the mouth. The tympanic cavity is Avery. Just don't even mind this. I messed up. The external auditory meatus is an S-shaped tube leading to tympanic membrane. The tympanic cavity is a semi-transparent membrane attached to the malleus. Stapes is an auditory ossicle attached to the oval window. The membranous labyrinth contains endolymph. The osseous labyrinth is a bony canal of inner ear and the temporal bone. The auditory tube connects the middle ear and the pharynx. The incus is a bone between the malleus and stapes. Labyrinth is a scientific name for inner ear, and the auricle traps sound waves. Here are the parts of the ear. First is the tympanic membrane. Second is the semicircular canal. Third is the cochlea. Fourth is the cochlear nerve. 5 is the malleus. 6 is the pinna. 7, auditory canal. 8, stapes. 9. Eustachian tube. 10. The vestibule. The choroid coat is a posterior of middle tunic loosely jointed to the sclera. The sclera is a white part of outer tunic. The cornea is a transparent anterior portion of outer tunic. The conjunctiva is an inner lining of eyelid. The lacrimal gland secretes tears. The nasolacrimal duct empties into nasal canal. The vitreous humor fills posterior cavity of eye. The optic duct is an area where optic nerve originates. The iris is a smooth muscle that controls light intensity. The aqueous humor fills the anterior and posterior chambers. The retina contains visual receptors called rods and cones. The ciliary muscle causes lens to change shape. And the lysozyme is the antibacterial agent of tears. There's the diagram for the eye. First is the aqueous humor. Second is the vitreous humor. Third is the sclera. Fourth is the choroid. 5 is the retina. 6 is the fovea. 7, optic nerve. 8, ciliary muscle. 9, iris. 10, cornea. 11, pupil. 12 is the lens. The rods and cones are collectively called photoreceptors. The sets of color photoreceptors within the retina are cones. Rod cells contain the pigment opsin. The transparent portion of the eye's outer tunic is called the cornea. Which of the following statements is true? Rods are more numerous than cones. Which of the following correctly describes the pathway of light passing through the eye? The cornea, anterior chamber, iris, pupil, posterior chamber, lens, posterior cavity, and finally the retina. Which of the following statements is false? The blind spot is only found in the right eye for left-handed people. Which of the following impulse pathways is correct regarding vision? Rods and/or cones are activated by light. Graded potentials go to bipolar neurons, then to ganglion cells. And action potential goes to the brain. All the ganglion cells of the retina merge and exit the eye, forming the optic nerve. What is the name of this exit area? The optic disc. The anterior cavity of the eye is all of the area anterior to the lens. The ciliary body produces aqueous humor that fills the anterior cavity. If the vitreous humor level falls between normal levels, the retina may become detached and will affect vision. That's all. Good luck.